So I was looking for something to do for Valentine's Day. So I was just looking around the store looking for any molds or inspiration, and I found a basic wooden heart, and I haven't done anything, I don't know if you would call it pre-pour, but just pouring onto a surface, not in a mold. So I wanted to try doing that for the first time. So the piece of wood I got, it has two lines going through one side of the heart, and I didn't really want that, so I'm using the back side of the heart, and I am going to tape the back side so it doesn't get dirty. So I cut out on parchment paper a heart shape, and then I tape it down with masking tape until the whole back side is covered. Then I'm not even going to bother taking out the nail because I think it will be covered by the resin, and I'm just using white acrylic paint to paint a base layer on the heart before I pour any resin over it. And after I put a layer of white paint down, I go over it with my heat gun, so that way I don't have to wait for the paint to dry. It just dries it really quickly, and then I can immediately get started pouring resin over it. So when mixing resin, I always wear gloves and a mask, and the resin I use is a 1-to-1 ratio of part A and B, and I mix it thoroughly but slowly so there's less bubbles for 3 to 5 minutes, and then I scrape it into a new cup to make sure I'm getting everything on the sides and the bottom incorporated. Mix it even more. Then I got out 6 little mini cups. They're kind of like shot sized, and I poured just a little bit in each cup, trying to make it as even as I could. So I did a red mica pigment. If anybody knows where I can find good synthetic mica or mica made from the US, I would much rather use that. So if you know, let me know. Anyway, then I did a deep red alcohol ink in another cup. I did a pink mica and pink alcohol ink with a little bit of white and a little bit of brown, because my alcohol inks are very, very bright and I wanted it to look more like a color from this planet. So then I added some gold mica to my next cup, and my last cup I just added white alcohol ink. And then I just mixed those all together with a plastic butter knife. And my goal for this heart was to make it look like an agate kind of, or have agate lines, even though, you know, I don't think there's any agate that's naturally those colors. So I wanted to do, I don't know, I was just trying my best. I was trying to do stripes. So I put the heart on top of a little small box, so everything I put on it can just drain off the heart. It's not pooling just on the table. So I start with my red alcohol ink, and I'm just trying to make like a weird shaped line. Where I think I really fucked up was with the drips when I'm coming back over the heart. I feel like I was just too messy how I was pouring. It's not very cute. Definitely very abstract, not very agate at all. I just need to remember to have patience. So I start going in with the other colors, making it more and more of a mess. Yeah, I would like to say I knew where I went wrong, but I went wrong from the beginning. Yeah, I tried to just like add more here and there, try to spread it out with the heat gun. I used a torch to pop any bubbles. Since I'm not using a silicone mold, I can actually use a torch, which pops bubbles so much better. So it's not horrible, but it's definitely not what I was going for at all. And then I was regretting not buying another heart because I wasn't that happy about it. And I'm like, maybe I can draw on some white and gold lines and make it look more agate. So you'll see how that goes. So I went to Michael's to get another wooden heart, and they only had one left, which I wish they had more because I felt it in my heart I was gonna that up, but I found some heart-shaped molds too, so I got those. So day 2, I'm gonna try to use my heart molds and make a new wooden heart. So I start pouring my resin again, equal parts A and B, mixing it very thoroughly and switching the cups to make sure you're getting everything on the sides and the bottom, and then, yeah. And then I use a heat gun sometimes just to help thin it while I'm stirring and keep the bubbles to a minimum. So for my heart molds, I want to do half of them with little rose buds in them, and then the other half just red, pink, and then a red and pink mixture. So I just pour a thin layer of resin in the hearts that I'm going to do the rose buds in, and I go over that with a heat gun. Then I start placing the rose buds using tweezers, and every time I put flowers in a mold, they always float, so it's a 2-day process for me. I fill them up a quarter to halfway, knowing that the rose will float and knowing that I need to be able to cover the rose the next day. So if it's too full and the rose is floating too high, then even if I come back the next day and try to fill it with resin, the rose will still be sticking out. So trying to make sure the level's right, so when I come back and fill it tomorrow, the rose looks like it's floating in the middle of the mold. A couple of the molds I put 2 rose buds in, and then I poured my remaining resin in 2 separate cups, and of course I forgot to film what I did, but I just put red mica in one cup and then pink mica in the other, and I filled up 3 hearts that were red, 3 hearts that were pink, and then 3 hearts that were kind of a mixture of both red and pink. Then I moved on to my next heart, and my idea with this was like the sweetheart handies, and put like love me or something pathetic, you know, in the middle of the heart. So I wanted to just do a kind of like Pepto-Bismol pink on top. So I taped up the backside of the wood like I did on the piece of wood I did the day before, and I was lazy and I'm like, oh, I think the colored resin covered so much of the wood, I don't even think I need to paint it. That was a mistake. I should have painted it, and I should have painted it fucking Pepto-Bismol pink or whatever I wanted the color to be. And of course I fucked up filming this too, so I didn't have that much resin, so I needed to make more, so I poured a little bit. It's very transparent, so I went to mix more, and I poured more over the heart. It was still very transparent. Then I added just some alcohol ink and started like randomly mixing that through. It looked kind of cool. It looked kind of like tie-dye pink, but it wasn't what I was going for, and it was still transparent. So I mixed in pink mica and hoped for the best. So I came back the next day. I mixed equal parts A and B of my resin mixture, mixed it very well and thoroughly, and then filled up the rest of my heart mold with the rose buds in it. And I had spent the night before drawing on white and gold lines in hopes to make it look more like an agate, but instead it looks like a zebra or like tiger print. It looks like something Carol Baskin would like, which isn't what I'm going for, but you know, maybe it's someone's style. So anyway, I just poured a clear coat of resin over the paint I had added on to it. So then I realized with my pink heart that it must have been tilted slightly because all of the resin pooled to one side of the heart. So I'm going to mix more resin and add more pink mica to that and have the heart facing the opposite way. So now all the resin can pool to the opposite side, so it's even, or somewhat even. And since I had to put mica on it, I don't really want to do my sweetheart idea anymore because I kind of like that being a matte color. So my idea is to put blood drips on it the next day. So Next day, mix my resin per usual. Equal parts A and B. Mixing thoroughly, switching to a new cup to get everything from the bottom and the sides combined. And then I add red mica to that. And using a plastic spoon, I just kind of start dripping and pouring some of the red resin down from the top. And then I realized I was holding it sideways, so my blood wasn't dripping straight down, which is the whole point of the look. So that was frustrating. Kept my heart just flat. The blood drips kind of fat, and then, you know, they weren't going straight down. And I checked on them later and they had expanded even more. So I added more blood to it to try to make it better. But I don't think it really made it better, but we'll see all of my failures right now. So I'm like, they're all not great. So this is what ended up being my heart piece, my bloody heart. Yeah, it's just like really fat drips of blood. There's some random holes towards the top of the heart. The red is almost like, I don't know, it just like, you can see the pink so clearly on the top lining of the heart, and then it looks like veins on the top side. And I had a feeling just the pink part was cute and that I was gonna fuck it up. And I did, yeah. It's just kind of fucked. But oh well, I think it looks okay from far away. So this is the zebra heart. Yeah, it's something. I think someone could like it. Not this someone, but someone potentially. I mean, it's not horrible. It's also not great. Oh well. Okay, my little hearts. Oh, okay, this turns out very matte, which is interesting. See, like shiny on the back side and then matte on the front. I mean, I think it's cute as just like a little whatever. Red heart, pink, they're cute. Okay, check out the rose. So since it's matte, it's totally foggy on the front, so it's upside down. Interesting. Yeah, so real foggy the normal direction. So I think overall, this was a big failure. I'm gonna go put a hot pack on for my cramps now.